Hey everyone, welcome back to our Home Happy podcast. We are here on another episode, me and Mike, and we have a special guest, Glenn Feldstein. I hope I pronounced that right. One of our specialists, our realtor partners in the Lower Mainland, and we are so excited to have you here. Glenn, I'll pass the mic to you.
Yeah, thanks very much for inviting me on. Looking forward to having a chat here.
Thanks for being here, Glenn. We know there's always interesting things going on in the real estate market, and we'd love to hear from the experts right on the road, on the street, where you're actually dealing with it all day, as opposed to what the modern media says. And so maybe just start there. What's going on in the summer of 2025?
I think what the media says, that's just a very broad statement, right? So if you look at if you look at a broad price range, property types, and you bundle that all together, yeah, it's doing one thing. But throughout my career, one thing that has stayed true is that property type, neighborhood, like not even city, but specific neighborhood and price points, they all perform differently. So some people might say, oh, it's a buyer's market. Well, not at this price point in this neighborhood right now. So I think the media is good to give you a general oversight of what's happening out there. But if you're actively in the market looking to buy or thinking about selling, then you very much need to find out what's happening in your local market, specifically to your property type and what price range you might be in, right? And that's where us realtors come in. So you're thinking about doing something, you give us a call, and then we hone in on exactly what you're trying to do and talk about how the market's performing in that regard. So yeah, this summer has been kind of the whole year has been kind of interesting. The whole 5 years has been a little bit of a roller coaster and kind of bananas in a way, right? But yeah, this summer is we go a week or two with very little phone calls, very little showing requests for our listings, and then the next week, like this week, couple offers that kind of came out of nowhere. Like one buyer saw our listing about 3 months ago, and it circled back. And it actually made a pretty decent offer. And then showing requests and that sort of thing. So normally it's just like a steady showings every week and inquiries. But yeah, this summer it seems to kind of be like a reasonable amount to nothing. And then a reasonable amount to nothing. That's kind of what we're seeing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, we always believe this. Every person's situation is unique. Everybody's in their own life and story. And, what's the right time for them, may not matter about the market. It's more about what they want to do and where they want to go. And just like you said, not, the big picture is one thing, but unique environments, are different. So I think where I'm going with that is, I know there's a lot of media attention to, investment like condos where they're, small units and they're meant for investors, and maybe they're not selling the same way. But like you said, the right townhouse or house or condo, depending on where it is and what it's doing, might be in demand. So I think you always have to take some of that stuff with caution. And we get a lot of clients who say, "Oh, when's the right time to buy?" Well, if you're going to try and ride the market perfectly and know exactly when it's the bottom, we're all in this business and we don't know. So to pretend that you do, you're probably not telling the truth. I think if somebody's ready to buy and they've got their budgeting put in place and they're ready to do it, then yeah, go out and do it. I think the big advantage, and I'm sure you can speak to this, is that, when it was crazy and people were having a bid on a property, nobody likes that other than the guy selling. But for a purchaser, the ones who didn't want to do that, now you don't have to. Now you have a choice. And to me, it's such a more positive place to be for most purchasers, I think. What do you think of that, Glenn?
Yeah, 100%. It's kind of funny, right? Like anybody can make an argument for when a good time is based on the market. Like when things were all multiple offers, like even your properties that you're kind of like, oh, multiple offer, unconditional, trying to get financing sort of beforehand, do your inspections before you're making offers and all that sort of stuff. Even when that was happening, it was like, oh boy, like if you're going to do this, you better do it because prices are going to keep going up and interest rates are really low. There's the argument, right? And then now it's like, okay, well, you have more, theoretically, you've got more time. You don't have to make a snap decision. Like you should always, when you see something you like, you should act quickly because 90 days on the market, and all of a sudden 2 buyers want the same property because you waited a week or 2 weeks, and then everybody's circling back. So now is a reasonable time as well because there's less competition, and rates are a little bit higher, but prices are lower. So I think what I've noticed generally is it's a lot of people tend to put more value on the interest rate than the price of the home, which is a little bit backwards, right? And it's that, I mean, everybody probably says this too much, but that herd mentality kind of thing, like, hey, let's go, everybody's doing this, we better do it. So to your point, life circumstances, financially prepared, secure job, it's go time, regardless of what's happening in the market. And I also think that there are a good number of people that I speak with. Obviously, I can't speak for people I haven't spoken with, but people seem to have lost sight that real estate's a long-term investment. It's a long-term hold. So what's the market going to do in 3 years? Well, what are you doing in 3 years?
Yeah.
10-year or 20-year property? If this is a 5-year property downtown Vancouver, I don't know. Let's find somewhere else, right? Because kind of what you're saying about those condos that, a lot of investors, interest rates, they're like, okay, we've owned this property long enough. So, I mean, the downtown condo market is pretty flooded with listings. So it's not performing that well. So some great buys if you're in it for the long haul, right?
Yeah.
So, that's my 2 cents on that. But.
No, I love that. So with, I guess, what do you find, is there a certain type of property that's selling more right now than others in general compared to what's out there?
It seems like everything that's entry level, like your entry level condo, townhouse, single family home, and we've been selling those throughout the year. And if they look good, if they're move-in ready, they don't have to have a flashy, like fresh renovation. But if there's maintained well, where somebody can move in and unpack their bags, maybe renovate down the road or not at all, priced well, those are moving very, very well. Anything that is what you would consider higher end relative to its property class, and we've got a few of those listings right now, and those are the ones that are sitting that we just recently got a couple offers on, which is great. Those ones are tending to take more time to sell. Like you might get lucky and your buyer's been in the market for 3 to 6 months already and sees it and says, okay, let's move on it. But for the most part, it seems like we're waiting for those buyers to enter the market. So it seems like the entry level stuff is moving pretty quick. And I mean, I like which property type specifically is moving the most. I'm not really sure. I just to be honest, I'd probably look it up. If I was going to take a guess, I would probably say that there is a lot of attention on townhomes and half duplexes, because that's the nice go-between before you get to the single family if you wanted that. So let's get out of the 2-bed condo. Let's get the 3-bedroom townhouse or the 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom half duplex, and let's hang out there for 10 years before we can get our own house. So it seems like, I guess you want to call it that, sort of the middle type properties, the stepping stone properties, even if you will. But
so if when you touched on something there, I just thought might be interesting. If somebody was prepared to sell their property right now or wanted to do something, what are the key takeaways that you would recommend they do to their property ahead of time? Like, what are the main things right now, or in general, I guess, doesn't necessarily mean right now, but what would you say they need to do?
Like the property's just got to be looking as best as you can, right? I mean, everybody's got a budget, and so within your budget or whatever you have access to, do whatever you can to the property. I'd probably avoid like a renovation per se, but I just mean like, I mean, that's a whole nother ball of wax, because what kind of renovation are you doing and who are you doing it for? And is it going to fit the property and the price point and the neighbors and all that sort of stuff? So that can just be a pretty big can of worms. But, simple things like painting, even you could go as far as bringing in a home inspector yourself and being like, hey, what's an inspector going to find? And let's button these things up. So when people walk through this house, or when they at least get to that point of an inspection, a lot of things are going to check out, and it's just going to give that buyer a lot more confidence. And certainly staging, like, it works. Like, it really does work, and stagers will work with what you have. you can do a complete stage, like get all your stuff out. So again, it kind of goes back to the budget, right? Because selling a place, like, yeah, you know, you can spend a fair bit of money getting your place up and ready, but it is a payoff, right? The less objections a buyer has when they walk into your home and walk around your home, depending on what type of property, but the less objections they have, the better offer you're going to get and the more confident offer that they're going to make, like, because it's how they feel. They're like, oh, this place looks good, it's well taken care of. Like, I can't really see anything weird. I'd love to hear what the inspector says. The inspector comes and he's just like, I said, that's pretty good. You got a couple of things here that you got to think about, or, you know, maybe a roof in 5 years and stuff like that. So don't go crazy and put on a new roof if it's not needed, right? Yeah. So yeah, it's, you know, kind of new set of tires, wash your car, vacuum it. Like, don't put the engines in it, but let's tune it up. Let's get it up, right? So
yeah.
What do you think? I'm going to put you on the spot. What do you think of the market in the next year? What do you think that's going to look like?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic. We've had, like, the last 5 years has been pretty wild, right? And I feel like even though things are ebbs and flows right now, I mean, especially throughout the summer, but that's kind of normal for our summer anyways, because it's beautiful and people get out of town, right? I just feel like things are normalizing. And of course, what's normal? Like, I don't know if I can't remember last time we've experienced something that we really consider normal. But I guess what I mean by that is, like, some more balance, I think, will come to the market. And I think people have and will climatize to what's going on and their own situation. They'll have a good grasp on that. And so I think the elections are done. There's always going to be some noise from the media and skeptics and things like that. So if people just revert back to their life circumstances and their financial position and job and that sort of thing, I think people will just carry on with their plans, which will just naturally spur on some more activity too, right? And I think, like, even if going back to COVID, I mean, there was a lot of, like, I mean, 2021, like, did you guys do like 1,000 or 10,000 mortgages? Yes. Like, it was bananas, right? And then, you know, and then obviously rates go up and things slow down. But during that time, the way I look at it is a lot of people move during that time that normally wouldn't have, right? We're not going back to the office. Let's get out of downtown and let's go over to Langley and buy some dirt and that sort of thing, right? So if you took all those sales and kind of spread them out over the couple of years past that, it's pretty average market, right? Yeah. So it's kind of like bulk loaded because of the global circumstances there. So I feel like things are just going to kind of normalize and people are going to get on with their lives and do what they need to do. And that sort of thing. And I work with some investors, but mostly the people that I work with are end users, right? So I'm kind of speaking to that investment. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's lots of different kinds of investments, and, you know, I mean, obviously prices will go up, you know, in the next 5 years or so. So where do you want to get into the market? And if you're buying a rental, yeah, I mean, in and around the lower mainland might not be the best move, because you're probably, if your goal is to put the minimum % down, you're probably not going to cash flow. And you're banking on equity growth. So maybe you're looking at places like Edmonton, or I got a realtor buddy in Newfoundland, and you can cash flow some serious stuff for 300 grand in Newfoundland. I'm like, oh. So there's options. You know, there's a lot of chatter about Mexico these days too. A lot of realtors from here are selling over there. And so anyways, I'm kind of more speaking to the end user type thing. Yeah.
Fantastic. I think we'll end it there. I think that's been a great little discussion. We really appreciate your time and input. I think it's really fun to listen to. And yeah, anything else, Plinka, that you need to?
Yeah, no, a quick thing that I was going to add is, a lot of people ask, when is the best time for me to post my house on the market, and when is the best time for me to buy? And one thing that we always try to educate our clients is that your time is the best time, right? If you try to plan around the market, that's not the best plan. The best plan is your plan. And of course, always having professionals around you. And so they can guide you because they've done it, right? A lot of times they try to listen to this side and that side and a neighbor, this. And so always try to have the best partners around you, but also your plan is the best plan, right? So that's what we always like to say.
Yeah, 100%. Because yeah, an argument can be made for everything. Like, oh, list in December because less competition. Well, less
Right.
buyers, but more serious buyers. Well, wait until February when everybody's flooded back in. So yeah, you nailed it. What's your plan, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Glenn. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you.
All right.